Welcome to the deep dive. So today, we're journeying into a world, well, most of us know it, we love it. It brings back such warmth, such nostalgia. Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece, My Neighbor Totoro.
A classic.
Absolutely. But what if we told you there's this whole universe of like ancient Japanese folklore, really deep spiritual meaning, kind of hidden just beneath the surface of that gentle world?
It's definitely there. And for this deep dive, that's our mission, really, to peel back those layers. We want to illuminate the surprising origins of the supernatural beings you meet in the film.
Right, like the Susuwatari.
Yep, the soot sprites, the iconic Catbus, and of course the Totoros themselves, big guy included.
And what we're hoping to show you is how Miyazaki didn't just, borrow from tradition. He actively reimagined these figures. Some of them could have been quite fearsome, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
But he turned them into these benevolent, comforting guardians of childhood that we see. So it's not just a beloved children's film, it's almost like a modern mythology.
A way to reconnect us, maybe, with those things Miyazaki mentioned. Things we have forgotten. Things we did not notice. Things we thought we had lost.
It feels like an invitation, doesn't it? To see the magic that might still be around us.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's step into that magical world, our first encounter. The humble, the ephemeral Susuwatari.
The soot sprites.
Exactly. You know them as Makuro Kurosuge. Those little black, fist-sized balls of fluff. They got those great big expressive eyes.
Yeah, they're the first bit of magic the Kutsakabe family finds in that dusty old house.
It's like a gentle introduction for Satsuki and Mei, isn't it? They almost look a bit like Kizar and Passeron, those other mysterious, fluffy things from folklore. Supposedly bring good luck.
Right, there's a visual echo there,
Yeah.
but their actual folkloric roots, well, that's where it gets interesting.
Okay, tell us.
They're explicitly a type of yukai, that's a really broad term in Japanese folklore, covers supernatural monsters, spirits, demons, all sorts of things.
Okay, so yukai.
More specifically, they fit into a category called tsukumogami.
Tsukumogami.
Yeah. It's this ancient belief that ordinary objects like tools or household items, after they've been around for a long time, usually 100 years, is the classic number they can actually acquire a spirit, a soul. They can come to life.
Wow. Okay, so not just haunted teacups, but this deeper idea that even everyday stuff can gain a spirit.
Exactly. But here's the Miyazaki twist. He's not just giving us, say, an animated umbrella.
Right.
His vision for the Susuwatari is more abstract. They're like the animistic manifestation of accumulated stuff. Dust, soot, shadows. Even the emptiness of the house itself.
So not one object, but the spirit of stillness, disuse, the forgotten corner.
You got it. It's the spirit of those things given life. A collective animation, really, not just one thing waking up.
That's brilliant. It finds magic in the most mundane things, literally dust and soot, but alive. And they have this very liminal quality, don't they? Like May tries to grab one and it leaves a smudge, so it's tangible.
Right. Physically there in some sense.
But they're also ethereal. You
Yeah.
can't really catch them, can't possess them. You just experience them.
Yeah, fleeting.
And then they leave. That departure is also pretty symbolic, right? They go once the house is filled with family's kindness, laughter, light.
It is symbolic. You could see it as a kind of spiritual litmus test, like you suggested earlier.
Okay.
But it's maybe more than just a test. It's a validation. Their departure, flying off in that big swirling cloud towards the camphor tree, that's the first real sign from the spirit world that this family is okay, that they're good.
So the supernatural kind of responds to human character.
In Miyazaki's world, yes. It seems sensitive to warmth and goodness. There's this cultural critic, Akata Toshio, who had an interesting take. He called them a virus-type entity.
Virus type? How so?
Meaning they operate like a collective organism. They don't really have individual will or malice. They're not plotting anything. Ah, okay. Not like a traditional malevolent yukai.
Exactly. More like a natural phenomenon, almost biological in how they behave as a group. And that subtle distinction, it hints at maybe a whole tiered system of spirits in Miyazaki's world, starting with these very basic, almost primal forms.
Okay, so the Susuwatari are like this gentle entry point. They test the waters, show that goodness clears the way for magic. But Miyazaki doesn't just stay with subtle dust magic, does he?
Not at all.
He brings in something much bigger, much faster. The Catbus.
Ah, the Catbus.
Sounds iconic.
Totally iconic. That huge grinning cat turned into a living vehicle, caterpillar legs, those luminous eyes. How does that fit into the folklore? Seems pretty whimsical.
It does seem whimsical, and that's part of the genius because its origins are actually pretty terrifying.
Really? Terrifying.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about its ancestors in folklore, the bakaneko, that means changed cat, and the nekomata, which often has a split or forked tail.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Well, these feline yokai, they were believed to come from cats that lived a very long time, or maybe died violently, and they were thought to have some serious powers.
And not just, like, cute tricks, right? I remember reading they could shapeshift into humans.
Yep. Shapeshift, speak human languages, dance on their hind legs.
But darker stuff, too. Fireballs.
Pyrokinesis, yes. Summoning fireballs. And even necromancy, supposedly they could reanimate corpses just by leaping over them.
Whoa. Okay, that's definitely not the friendly Catbus vibe. I remember something about them licking lamp oil, too. Just creepy.
Exactly. Unsettling details like that. And there are legends, like the Nebishima cat disturbance.
Oh, what was that?
A famous story where a cat sought revenge for its murdered master, a samurai retainer. Stories like that really cemented their image as figures of grudges, vengeance, real menace. People were genuinely afraid of them.
So Miyazaki takes this figure of fear and gives us a giant friendly bus shaped like a grinning cat. That's quite a leap.
It's a huge leap. And this is where the transformation is just fascinating. Miyazaki himself apparently said the Catbus was once a normal bakaneko.
Okay.
And this bakaneko saw a regular actual bus on the road, thought it looked interesting, and just decided to imitate it.
Just like that, out of curiosity.
Out of curiosity. And that simple explanation, that is such a profound piece of creative subversion. It completely changes the motivation.
From malice and revenge.
To simple, almost childlike curiosity. It's brilliant.
It really is. He flips the whole thing on its head.
It's a total thematic inversion. That's the key insight. The traditional bakaneko might act out of loyalty, but it's a destructive loyalty, getting revenge for someone wronged.
Right.
Miyazaki takes that core energy, that loyalty, and just flips its polarity. He channels all that supernatural power not into vengeance, but into rescue, protection for a human child.
Changing terror into transport.
And malice into protective care. It's a radical reimagining and a deeply optimistic one.
And the Catbus then becomes a sort of modern psychopomp? Is that the right term?
That's a great way to put it. A psychopomp is traditionally a guide for souls, often to the afterlife.
Yeah, usually pretty serious figures.
Exactly, often solemn, maybe divine, maybe even scary. But the Catbus, it's literally a bus. Miyazaki modernizes and domesticates that ancient spiritual idea.
Making spiritual transport seem familiar, normal, almost.
And completely non-threatening. The changing destination sign is perfect for this, isn't it? Clicking from Sukamori Forest to Mei to Shichikokuyama Hospital.
It shows the magic adapting to modern needs, helping out.
Precisely. It guides the girls not necessarily between worlds, but between emotional states. From despair and fear to hope and reunion, it gives them this fantastical journey right when they need it most.
Okay, so we've gone from the dust sprites to the reimagined terror of the Catbus. Now let's turn to the big guy himself, the spirit who is the neighbor in My Neighbor Totoro.
The master of the forest.
The Toro. His name, famously, comes from Mei mispronouncing troll tortru from her picture book.
Right, which is itself interesting.
But there's also that local connection, right? The film's original working title was something like The Neighboring Ghost in Tokorozawa.
That's right. Tokorozawa was where Miyazaki lived. So it's this wonderful blend. International children's literature meets very specific local Japanese place and spirit. It's a great example of cultural syncretism.
Mixing elements to create something new.
Exactly. And Totoro isn't just one being. There's that hierarchy.
Yeah, the three of them. Tokorozawa, the big gray one.
Supposedly 3,000 years old, according to Miyazaki later.
Wow, ancient. Then two Totoro, the blue medium one.
Around 600 years old.
And little Chibi Totoro, the white one.
Just a youngster, 100 years old.
Practically a baby. And Totoro's title is Master of the Forest, Mori no Nushi. That sounds pretty important.
It is. It positions him as the primary guardian spirit of that whole area.
So even though Mei calls him an abeiko like a ghost or monster,
which is understandable for a child,
his actual characteristics, they really place him firmly as a kami within the Shinto framework, don't they? Like a god, a deity, a sacred spirit.
Absolutely. The film makes this visually and narratively clear. His home, his sacred dwelling.
Giant camphor tree.
Exactly, the Kusunoki. It's not just any big tree. It's explicitly shown as a Goshinboku, a sacred tree in Shinto. And you see the Shimenawa.
That braided rope with the paper streamers.
That's the one. It marks a purified, holy space, Seeing that around the base of the tree unambiguously tells a Japanese audience, this is a sacred spot, home to a kami.
And the father's reaction reinforces this, right? Tatsuo doesn't just laugh off Mei's story.
No, he takes it seriously. He takes Satsuki and Mei to the little shrine nearby to bow and formally thank the spirit. That act completely legitimizes Totoro's divine status within the film's reality.
It also touches on something you mentioned, the sometimes blurry lines in Japanese spirituality between kami, yukai, and obake. How do those categories relate?
It's helpful to think of it maybe as a spectrum. Kami are generally seen as benevolent, powerful spirits tied to nature or ancestors, beings you'd worship or show reverence to, like Totoro in his role as forest master. Yukai is that broader category, supernatural beings, spirits, monsters. They can be mischievous, dangerous, weird, powerful, a huge range. The Baikaneko fits here.
And obake?
Often translated as ghost, or perhaps something that's undergone a transformation, may be less inherently powerful than a major yukai. Mei calling Totoro an obake is like calling a bear a big, furry thing. Not wrong, but doesn't capture the full picture.
So Totoro kind of blends these. He has the awe of a kami, the strange form of a yukai, and gets calls an obake by a kid.
Exactly, but his connection to the sacred tree, the reverence shown, that elevates him firmly into the realm of kami.
What's truly mind-blowing is how Miyazaki connects Totoro to this immense timescale, 3,000 years old, learned pottery from the Joimon people.
Yeah, that detail is incredible. It directly links Totoro to Japan's prehistoric Joan period, which lasted thousands of years, ending around 300 BCE.
And the tree itself, the camphor tree, that's significant too.
Very much so. The kusunoki is a key species of the ancient laurel forests shushurin that used to cover large parts of western Japan back then. There's this whole ecological cultural theory, the laurel forest culture theory, which suggests that Totoro isn't just old. He embodies a kind of living memory of Japan's earliest relationship with nature, a time before intensive agriculture, when forests were vast and central to life and spirituality.
So he's like a living relic of that deep past.
A relic, or maybe an access point to what some call the koso, an ancient layer of the Japanese psyche, a primal memory of when, as the father tells the girls, trees and people were once good friends. Miyazaki taps into that deep cultural vein.
Wow. And he also captures that duality of the sacred. That's so key in Shinto, isn't it? The idea that kami aren't just nice, they can be awesome, even destructive.
Right. The concepts of Nijimatama and Aramitama explain those. Nijimatama is the gentle, peaceful, nurturing aspect of a kami or nature. Think sunshine, gentle rain, growth. Aramitama is the rough, violent, destructive aspect. Think typhoons, earthquakes, the raw power of nature. A kami embodies both.
And Totoro shows this.
Perfectly. When Satsuki first really meets him at the bus stop in the rain, her reaction is priceless.
Scary, but wonderful.
Exactly. That's not confusion. That's an intuitive grasp of the sublime. Totoro is immense, powerful, his roar shakes the air, Aramitama, but he's also fundamentally gentle, protective, offers his leaf umbrella, Nijimatama.
So true reverence means respecting both sides, the power and the gentleness.
I think so. It's acknowledging nature's vast, untamable force, not just its picturesque beauty.
Okay, stepping back a bit then. If we look at all these spirits together, Susuwatari, Catbus, Totoro, what's their bigger role for Satsuki and Mei? Are they just cool characters, or is there something deeper about guarding their childhood?
Oh, much deeper. They absolutely function as guardians of childhood innocence.
Yeah.
Think about it. Only the children can see them clearly.
Right, the adults don't really encounter them directly.
Which highlights this kind of privilege of youth. It connects really nicely with a traditional Japanese idea. Nanatsu made wakami no uchi.
What does that mean?
Until the age of 7, a child is with the gods. It implies young children have this natural closeness to the spiritual world. They're more open to it, more receptive to the magic in the world.
So it's like a special window that closes as you get older.
Perhaps. It definitely emphasizes the preciousness and power of childhood imagination in the film.
And a crucial point seems to be that Totoro isn't some kind of deus ex machina. He doesn't magically cure their mom.
No, he doesn't fix the fundamental problem, the real-world hardship they're facing.
So if he's not solving their problems, what is he doing for them?
His role is more therapeutic, psychological. He provides emotional resilience. He helps them manage overwhelming feelings. Well, think about the bus stop scene again. They're anxious, lonely, their dad is late. Totoro just appears. His calm, immense presence. It doesn't solve the lateness, but it eases their anxiety just by being there.
Without even needing words.
Exactly. And the dance to make the seeds sprout, that's not about getting giant trees overnight. It's a symbolic act. It's about life, growth, participation. It distracts them, empowers them, gives them a sense of wonder and agency.
So the magic isn't about changing reality, but giving them tools to cope with reality.
Precisely. Giving them hope, wonder, and a spiritual framework to navigate difficult times.
And the film's climax, Mei getting lost, that taps into a really deep cultural fear, doesn't it? Kamikakushi.
Oh, absolutely. Hidden by the gods, traditionally a terrifying idea. Children vanish, spirited away, maybe forever. The film deliberately evokes that fear. You feel the panic when they can't find her.
It raises the stakes incredibly high.
It does. And then Miyazaki does something radical with it. The human community searches, the neighbors help, but they fail.
Right, they find the sandal in the pond. Everyone fears the worst.
And what does Satsuki do? In her desperation, she doesn't go to the police. She runs to the sacred camphor tree. She begs Totoro for help.
Appealing to the spirit world.
Appealing directly to the kami. And what happens? The spirit world, which in the old Kamikakushi stories was the source of the threat,
becomes the source of salvation.
Exactly. Totoro, the kami, summons the Catbus, his yukai helper, and they find Mei. Significantly, she's found sitting by some Jizo statues.
Protectors of children in Buddhism.
Right. So you have Shinto and Buddhist elements working together through these nature spirits. It completely flips the Kamikakushi narrative.
From a cautionary tale about the dangers of the spirit world
to an optimistic affirmation of nature's protective power, if approached with a pure heart, with respect and need. It shows the spirit world offering comfort and rescue when the human world hits a limit.
It's an amazing transformation of folklore.
It really is. Ultimately, My Neighbor Totoro is just this extraordinary work of synthesis. Miyazaki weaves together authentic Japanese folklore, Shinto beliefs, deep cultural memory, even his own personal connections to the place.
Into something totally original but deeply resonant.
And these supernatural beings, they're not just cute characters, they're such rich, multi-layered symbols.
The Susuwatari find magic in the mundane, reminding us to look closer.
The Catbus takes terror and turns it into protective loyalty, fueled by curiosity.
And Totoro. He stands as this gentle but awesome kami, embodying that ancient past, that harmonious connection with nature.
And together, like we said, they don't solve the family's problems magically.
No quick fixes.
But they offer this powerful spiritual framework for emotional resilience. They affirm the power of childhood imagination and the deep, maybe healing resources found in the natural world.
And the film itself, it's almost become a new kind of tradition, hasn't it? It's managed to transmit this ancient Japanese worldview to people all over the globe, made it feel universal.
It really has. It resonates across cultures.
Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? If My Neighbor Totoro can do that so powerfully, transmit an ancient worldview, make it resonate globally, almost reshape how we feel about nature and childhood. Well, what other stories are we experiencing today? In films, books, maybe even online. Stories that might be silently reshaping our understanding of the world, our connections, our values. Just like the spirits of that camphor tree did for Satsuki and Mei.
That's a really interesting question to ponder. What are the Totoros of our time?
Something to think about as you maybe look for a little magic in your own neighborhood.